John Zeigler also lives in that alternate reality, and Contessa Brewer is going to talk to him. Now, you have to understand who John Zeigler is. He is the guy who interviewed at length Sarah Palin. He conducted that interview from inside her anus. There was not, of course, anywhere near a hard question, and every question was framed as, isn't what the mainstream media did to you despicable? Aren't they horrible people for pointing out what a moron you are? I mean, of course he would never say that, but in John Zeigler's mind, Sarah Palin has never said anything wrong. In her entire life, everything she said has been twisted. When she couldn't name a single Supreme Court case, well, that was a trap question. A Supreme Court case outside of Roe versus Wade, who running for vice president would ever know that? No, she's never been guilty of anything. So now MSNBC has made the mistake of bringing him on to talk about what Sarah Palin might think about certain things, including this little controversy with David Letterman. And you're going to see what kind of a mistake it is right here. Let's watch.
David Letterman takes a shot at the governor of Alaska, and in this case it sounds like, at least for Sarah Palin, Letterman missed the funny bone and struck a nerve instead. It began earlier this week when he made Sarah Palin the subject of his top 10 list.
Number 2, bought makeup at Bloomingdale's to update her slutty flight attendant look. And the number 1 highlight of Sarah Palin's trip to New York, especially enjoyed not appearing on Letterman. Well, there you go.
Palin was a guest on John Zeigler's radio show and she got a chance to respond to Letterman.
For him to pick up on such a thing, a distortion that, again, is based on a slow news day, evidently, not having anything else to talk about. That's pretty pathetic, good old David Letterman.
And John Zeigler joins me now. He's a radio host with KGIL, 1260 AM News Radio in Los Angeles, and has previously interviewed Palin and others for his film Media Malpractice, How Obama Got Elected. John, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Always interesting to go out with the people with Barack Obama's official network.
Now, I know you're very critical of the way that journalists in general have dealt with Governor Palin. I want to ask you today about your interview with Sarah Palin.
Gee, I wonder why.
So let me begin with, do you want to do the interview? You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I'd be thrilled to. Let's go for it.
Let me ask you what Sarah Palin's problem with Letterman was. What was it about the top 10 list that hurt her feelings?
Well, I don't know if her feelings were hurt. You'd have to ask her. She called David Letterman pathetic, which I think was an understatement, because not only did he call her slutty, you left out the part where he also joked about her teenage daughter being knocked up by Alex Rodriguez in the middle of Yankee Stadium while she was at the game. By the way, I also happened to ask her about Keith Olbermann blatantly lying about her allegedly plagiarizing a speech, which she didn't do. I doubt that that'll come up on this particular network.
Well, it's certainly not going to come up other than your mention in this particular interview, because I want to ask you about David Letterman and Sarah Palin. But again, if you'd like to talk about that, I'm willing to go forward with the conversation. Yes?
I'll talk about whatever you want. Hit me with your best shot.
Good. So in this case, it's comedy. To talk about her real itinerary in New York, it's kind of serious, not really funny. Why did she take such offense? She called him pathetic, so she obviously took offense. Why was she so offended by David Letterman?
Well, Contessa, since you're a female, you might be a better expert on whether or not it's appropriate to call a public figure slutty for no apparent reason, and to joke about her daughter being knocked up in the middle of Yankee Stadium while she's at the game. How would you feel about that, Contessa?
That's actually happened to me, and I'm fine. I'm still here.
Really? David Letterman joked about you being slutty and about your daughter being knocked up?
Not David Letterman, but it's happened to me publicly. Okay, we'll change topics.
Okay.
How about this? We just got a new poll out that shows that a majority of Americans don't know who speaks for the Republican Party. In this case, Sarah Palin, we're showing the people who got some of the responses. You've got Rush Limbaugh and Dick Cheney and John McCain. What about Sarah Palin? Does she feel at all concerned that she's not seen as a voice for the Republican Party?
Let me get this straight. You find this surprising or shocking that because you in the media portray Republicans as old white men, that the public perceives Republicans as old white men, and you destroy in a blatant character assassination Sarah Palin's character, and the public thinks that she's not worthy of that, at least in some terms.
John, in your interview with Sarah Palin, did you ask her any tough questions, or are you functioning now as her spokesperson?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you interviewed her.
I asked her
about the information
Right.
you elicited from Sarah Palin.
This was a great interview. I urge anyone who's interested in the real Sarah Palin to go to howobamagotelected.com. You can listen to the whole 16 minutes. One of the questions I asked her was whether or not she felt dissed by John McCain when he went on Jay Leno, also on NBC, back when he was the host of The Tonight Show, and basically dissed her.
All right.
And surprise, surprise, she gave an incredibly classy answer, showing far more class than clearly most people on this network have.
I don't really know what to do with that. You know, I'm here to give you an opportunity. I consider myself a common sense thinker. I haven't attacked you, and for you to come on and use those sort of insults me. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
Much
well,
more
you
news
guys
ahead
are certainly
on. Have the
deserving
mic,
of all-
please. Much more news ahead on MSNBC.
That guy with his smug-ass smile, man. So I'm watching that, and I was thinking, man, these are the times I want to be on, right? Let me have at this guy. Hey, John, is everybody you've ever run across annoyed by that smug look on your face, or just the people close to you? Okay, can anyone stand you? Look, they brought you on here to have a conversation, and all he did was attack MSNBC and NBC in every imaginable way that was completely off topic. Look, I don't have a problem with him attacking on the issues, whatever they're discussing, right? But when you get to the substance of what he's talking about, he's offended by a Letterman joke. They're jokes. They're late-night comedians. You know who should have really been offended if you were going to use that standard? Bill Clinton. How many oral sex jokes did they make about him? Monica Lewinsky. Come on. Are we counting? Is it a contest? No. It's only against Republicans, right? Please. And he also mentioned at the end, and Leno, too. Can you believe he was snide with Sarah Palin? Yes, that's his job, to make jokes about them. By the way, I never considered the slutty flight attendant look. That never occurred to me. And in fact, when I heard it, I got to be honest, I was like the audience, a little like, oh. Then I thought, ooh, kind of true. All right. Now, I suspect that they wouldn't have said that on MSNBC. Right from the beginning, right away, she says, hey, it's good to have you here. And he says, yeah, right, on Obama's official network. But that's, I guess, snarky look on his face. I can't take it anymore. And, the thing is, if they got into a real conversation, for example, if I'm talking with him and he says, on those Palin plagiarizing charges, as we told you on the show, I don't think that it was plagiarism. I thought she mentioned Gingrich a couple of times. But we could have that conversation, but we can't have a conversation with this guy because all he wants to do is prove how smart he is. Oh, I got you, huh, media? Zinger! From Zeigler! Just calm down, dude. Calm down and try to have a conversation like a normal human being.